I never need my second alarm because I'm always up on my first alarm, but I always forget to turn it off. So, right now it's 4:45. I'm heading to my race. I'm doing a duathlon because I hate swimming. I've been doing trainer rides, so I'm really strong, but I don't have any like handling. So anyway, we'll see what happens. This is my bike right here, which you guys have seen before. Using the Asics, Dynaflight 2s, and talk more about the race later. But anyway, gotta go, get ready. I'm in Mammoth Lakes, California now. I'm doing some work up here for a few days. But anyway, I wanted to give a race recap because the way it went down was like outrageous. Okay, I don't know why. It's people always say like I have like the craziest race recaps. I feel like it's not even me. It's not even because of me. It's like for some reason I'm cursed, and I always have like the craziest things happen to me. Right? When I first got to the hotel, okay, and I checked in, the lady at the front desk is like, "Oh, are you here for the race?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of people here. Are you volunteering?" It's like, no, I'm competing. Do I look like a volunteer? Ma'am, the only volunteering that I do is giving out free ass whoopings on race day. Okay? Pro bono, no charge, ass whoopings for free. I remember when I went to get food afterward and I came back to the hotel, I met up with basically ran into some people in the elevator that were race directors or like part of the race crew. So I mentioned I had to get my packet in the morning, and I was just confirming when they want time to show up there, and they're like, "Oh, make sure you bring $20 because there's a fee for race day packet pickup." And so luckily they told me that, right? So, and I asked them if they accept card payment at the race. They said yes. And I was like, okay. But I didn't want to chance it, so I stopped by a gas station on the way to the race and got cash back, which is a good thing because it ended up that their credit card machine didn't work. So I would have been screwed. But that's just only one problem of of all the issues that happened that day. I was going to bike to the race because I got a hotel that was close by, but I didn't want to carry money on me. So I was like, okay, I'll drive. And then when I woke up in the morning, turns out that it was raining. It wasn't supposed to rain. It was rainy. So the course was like the roads were slick. It just was cold and rainy. I mean, you know what rain is. I don't have to explain that one in much depth. But it sucked. I was like, damn it. I don't want this weather, you know? So I show up to the race. I forgot my jacket in the hotel. So I'm in like my tri-suit, so I'm like kind of cold. I go to pick up my packet. I was one of the first people there, luckily. And they're like, "Oh, what's your bib number?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't have my bib number. They're like, "Oh, go check on that bulletin board." So I go check on the bulletin board. I'm not there. Probably because I registered the day before, so they printed that list out late. So I go back over there, say, "Hey, I don't have a bib number." So they're like, "Okay, well, we need to look you up on the computer. We don't have a computer right now, so just hang tight." Hang tight? Okay, so 50 minutes later, they get a computer. I'm shivering the whole time, right? Not even like thinking, look, I gotta go warm up. I gotta get my stuff ready. Gotta drop stuff off in transition area. Like none of this stuff I've been able to do. So finally they look me up. They go, "Oh, you don't have a bib number. I guess we'll assign you one." Seriously, what was I waiting an hour for? So they give me a bib number, and I keep telling them I'm in the duathlon because there's also a triathlon. So instead of doing swim, bike, run, I'm doing run, bike, run. It's a different race. And I keep telling them I'm in the duathlon, and they keep saying, "Okay, here's your triathlon packet." I'm like, no, duathlon. They're like, yeah, duathlon. Like, I think they were confused because the guy before me, he was in the duathlon and he was switching to triathlon on race day. So I think they kept mixing us up, and I kept trying to set them straight. I'm in the duathlon. I hate swimming. It is cold. The water is cold. Why would anyone want to swim? So they give me my packet, and then everyone basically, so try transition 1 and 2. So transition 1 is like when you come in from the swim and get on your bike. Transition 2 is when you come in on the bike and get your run stuff. They're at different spots. They're like, a mile and a half away from each other, almost like 1.7 miles. So if so you have two different areas. So what they did was they took plastic bags with your running shoes, your run gear, and then you give it to them, write your bib number on it, and then they drop it off for you at T2, so that when you get there you have running shoes. So it seems like a good system, except they're doing it like right before the race, which makes you think like, what if they screw up? And also, so basically they take my bag, right? They're like, oh, we need your running shoes. I'm like, okay, here you go. Like I was like, that's kind of weird. I thought like I wouldn't need to give them my running shoes because I'm running, then biking, then running. So I'd be in the same area the whole time. That should have been my first warning flag. But I didn't think of it because they seem so confident, like, hey, we need your running shoes. So I give them my running shoes, and then I'm shivering, like so bad I can't even put on my race numbers and stuff and bib. So I go in the car, turn on the heater. Oh, I paid for parking, by the way, $10. So then I put on the heater, and I'm just like kind of like trying to warm up, right? So we have about 30 minutes until the race starts. And I'm just turning my car off. I'm getting my stuff ready, about to get my stuff ready. I'm gonna go to the bathroom at some point. And then I hear an announcement over the intercom that says, transition area closes in 25 minutes. Race starts in 30 minutes. If you're in the duathlon, you're in the wrong place. And I was like, wait, what was that about duathlons in the wrong place? So I run over to the transition area where I was going to drop my bike off, but it's not ready yet. And I talked to someone like, hey, I just heard duathletes shouldn't be here. Like, what's that about? Where am I supposed to go? And the guy didn't know. He's like, let me get somebody else. And then he's like, oh, let me get somebody else. Like, finally the third person knew what they were talking about. They're like, oh yeah, you're going to start in T2. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? They never told me that. They took my run shoes already. Like, what the hell? So they won't, if they took my run shoes, they won't be at the start in time. Because that's mainly for the triathletes that have to swim and bike, then they'll run. I need to run right away. So I don't have my run shoes yet. And he's like, yeah, no, you got to go to T2. I'm like, nobody told me this. And I'm not the only person. See, I got there late yesterday, right? So a lot of people were like, oh, well, you should have gone to the pre-race meeting. Well, you know what? There were duathletes that went to the pre-race meeting, and they said they didn't mention anything about that. When they went over the course, they went over the course as if we were doing the same exact course as the triathletes, minus the swim. And obviously we have a short run in the beginning. So, like, other people did make the same mistake as me, but I made it like the latest. Like, I was the one that figured out at the worst possible time. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, dude, you could just bike there. It's like 2 miles. I'm like, yeah, with all my shit, like all my transition area stuff. I'm not even, I'm not ready. My bike's not ready. Like, I haven't gone to the bat. This is bullshit. I was pretty mad actually. And at this point, I have 25 minutes. So I run back to my car, and it's raining too. Like, who wants to do that in the rain? So basically, at that point, I'm like not in the right headspace. I'm just like freaking out. Adrenaline's pumping. So I decide to get in my car and leave and try to drive part of the way there. Even though a lot of the roads are closed for the race, but I figure, hey, any distance I can get closer would be nice, and then I'll bike from there. But I want to get at least closer because the car is a lot faster. So I do that. So I'm leaving the parking lot. So I just paid $10 for parking. I'm not parking there. And I have my Google Maps up on my phone, and I probably get roughly within a mile of the place. I'd probably cut the distance in half. And then I'm pretty close. And then I get out. At this point, I have 14 minutes until the start. and I gotta take a shit always before the race. Like, I just gotta take one right now too. It's kind of coincidental, but anyway, it's beside the point. I'll try to hold it for this video. But yeah, I had to take a shit. Always wait till the last minute. That way, when I go, that's it. There's no more second round, you know. So I had nowhere to go. No bathrooms. I'm in like a little neighborhood. There's a little dog park. People are walking their dogs, and there's bushes, but they're short. They're like up to here on me, like my chest, like my belly button. They're really short. So I had to crawl on my hands and knees, like crawl under the bush, and then squat down. So by the time I squatted, my head is like at the top of the bush, and like there's almost no room between my ass and the ground. Like, I gotta be really careful that I don't shit on myself. And I went, and I just hope there was a little opening that I was just like, I hope no one drives by or walks by for the next 2 minutes. And the tri suit, to get it off, you basically have to take the whole thing off. So I'm butt naked. And so I come back out, put my tri suit back on. Now I have about roughly 10 minutes until the race start. So I take my bike out of the car, put on the wheel, get my bike shoes, I try to like get everything that I need, right, for the race. And at this point, I haven't had breakfast. I was supposed to like have like a pre-gel, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm just like in a rush, right? I'm just not thinking. So anyway, I'm just like going, and I didn't even prep my bottles. I just put water in my bottle. I didn't put like Cover Pro or any kind of nutrition, because I'm just like screw it. I need something, but like I'm not worrying about that right now. And so I bike over there. I get there in about 5 minutes. I had to go around barricades the whole time. So I get there with 5 minutes to spare. And then I go into transition area, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking for everyone's pretty much ready to go, and just me, right? And I go in there, I don't see my bib number because you have a transition area spot. And I'm telling them, hey, I don't have a transition area. They're like, oh, just find your number. I'm like, no, you don't understand. There is no number. My number is not on any of these stations, because they just assigned my bib number this morning. I registered last night. Like, I don't have a spot. So they had to find another like metal bar. It stands up on its own, but they had to find another one, a spare one, put it in there, write my bib number on there, and then that was mine. So I had my own transition bar. So I put that on. Oh, one more thing. Remember they took my running shoes? Well, thank God I had a second pair of running shoes in my car from who knows when, because I cleaned my car recently, like 2 weeks ago. But luckily, I had 2 pairs of running shoes. One pair they took, and one pair I had in the car. So I wore that pair for the race, which was fine. It was my Nike Pegasus, whatever. But the problem was I usually have zip ties on my shoes, where they're really easy to take on and put on and take off. But when my zip ties were on the other pair of shoes, they took. So my transition times weren't very fast. But anyway, at least I had a pair of shoes, thank God. Otherwise, I would have run in like my work shoes. That would have been funny. So then we run, and the very beginning, this really tall chick, looked like she was as tall as like an NBA basketball player, like 6'5" or something. She was really tall. She takes off. And I'm like, what the hell? Like my goal for this short run, because the run in the beginning is really short. It's like, well, it's supposed to be 1.2 miles, but I ran it in 4 minutes. So obviously, unless I just set a new world record, obviously it was short. The point is, it was a really short run, kind of meaningless. Just kind of, I guess, break the field up a little bit before getting on the bike, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So my thought process was, okay, I don't care about winning this little short run here. I'm just going to size up everybody. But this chick goes, I'm like, okay, I'm not about to get chicked, all right? So I did pass her, but it took me like at least 2 minutes probably to catch her. Maybe close to 3 minutes. I passed her on the way back. And I was like, good pace. And she goes, thank you. Like she was like, had a foreign accent. I was like, oh, great. I think, I was like, oh, is she like a pro or something? She was fast. So then we get in the bike, and it's raining, like drizzly, so it's kind of sketchy. But I crushed the bike, which is what my goal was. Even though I was a little bit, my energy level was kind of low because I didn't have a bunch of stuff to eat before the race, because it ruined my whole pre-race routine. But you know, my legs felt good, so I got that done. And then on the run,
Silver on the track.